Good morning. I am just hopping on here really quickly this morning to talk a little bit more about this full moon that we're having this weekend. It's exact tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time, just slightly before 5 p.m., but man, you can feel it right now. So this full moon is on the axis or the polarity of Libra and Aries. So it's a full moon in Aries. And what that means is there's a tension, there's an opposition on the same frequency, just different opposite poles of that frequency. So the sun is in Libra, and the sun is our conscious mind, our personality, what our personality wants. And in Libra, the sun or the conscious personality wants peace in relationships. It wants harmony in relationships. And then the moon is on the opposite pole of that spectrum, and the moon is sitting in Aries, and the moon is our soul, and it's our intuition, and it's our emotion. And in Aries, the moon wants for us to stand up for ourselves, for us to assert our right to be ourselves fully and to show up. And so you can kind of see where that tension lies. And so ideally we find the balance point, but it always feels intense when the emotions, the moon, are in contrast with the intellect or our personality, our conscious ego self. This one, as I mentioned in my other post, is especially intense because the moon is conjunct Chiron, which is the wounded healer. So it's going to hit emotionally wounds that we have had for a very long time around being able to assert our rights to be fully ourselves in relationships, and our rights to be treated as fully ourselves in our relationships. Oftentimes, and I am definitely guilty of doing this, when we talk about Chiron, we think about the wounded piece, but then we don't think about the healer piece. And the healer piece is actually equally as important, and it's the thing that makes Chiron so important, honestly. So it's where we are able to transform our wounds and heal through addressing them and not ignoring them. And so we do have an opportunity with this full moon to do that, especially because there's a grand trine, a grand air trine, which means there are 3 planets all in trine to each other happening during this full moon. And in air, it has to do with communication and how we think. We've got Mars in Gemini, we've got the sun in Libra, as I mentioned, and then we've got Saturn in Aquarius, and they're making this beautiful triangle. And grand trines, or trines in general, are really, really supportive energies. They are harmonizing energies. They're supportive of, in air, they're supportive of communicating. And with Mars, what Mars in Gemini wants you to be brave. First of all, Mars always is encouraging bravery. And the reason that we can be intense is when we repress what we're meant to be brave about. And so Mars in Gemini wants you to bravely communicate. It wants us to bravely communicate, and it wants us to communicate bravely, not without knowing what the outcome is going to be, without being able to see a specific outcome. Gemini wants to make space for multiple different truths to exist at the same time. That's in a trine to this sun, the sun that wants harmony in relationships, and then Saturn in Aquarius, which wants you to restructure how you identify as an individual. Restructure your radical individualism. Pull your genius out from your consciousness, from your thoughts. Make it available in the way that you communicate. So the struggle with grand trines is only that it's such beautiful, flowing, harmonizing energy that we also often can get lazy and miss it. So the opportunity this weekend is to take advantage of the support that there is for communicating bravely, and expose intentionally some of those wounded parts of ourselves. Stand up for yourself. If you wait and you do it in a reactive way, it will be the wounded part of the wounded healer. If you're intentional about it and you use this Mars energy from this grand trine, and in order to be brave intentionally, healing will happen. So that's kind of the energy. That's definitely the energy of this whole weekend, especially as we build up to around 5 p.m. Gonna have to go into your wounds, guys, if you want to use this energy in the way that it's pushing you to use it. I am right now in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. I just dropped my girls off to their dad, and I have about a 2-hour drive back to Fort Wayne, where I live. And I was listening to my shuffle mix on Spotify, which I do on the way here, and Brandi Carlile's The Mother came on. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that song, but if you are a mother and you have not heard that song, go listen to it. I cannot listen to that song and those lyrics without crying. And so here I am driving at 8 a.m. in the morning on the highway, and I'm just like sobbing, especially because I'm feeling this emotion, right? But yeah, lyrically, The Mother, total sidebar. I'm feeling the emotion of this full moon. If you have planets in air signs at all, you're going to feel this. I have a crap ton of planets in air signs. This is hitting so much of my chart. And then, of course, if you have personal planets, natal planets in Aries, you know, you're dealing with that Chiron on a different scale already, and it's going to be accentuated this weekend. So you can use it. Use it. That's my advice. Thank you.